In today's Leeds news, Ampadu injury update, Leeds monitor Hammarby winger, clarity on Kristensen's exit, and Leeds and Adidas agree new deal. Good morning, folks. Hope you're all doing well. The 30th of October, another month out of the way as we head into November, into a busy month for Leeds United and a run of games that could definitely put Leeds in a very strong position should they be able to win them. Last night we did have a match review of the Leeds and Bristol City game. Myself, Jerry McNamee and Paul from the Leeds Therapy were there to have a chat. And we looked at the next 6 games as well, and we looked at Leeds' kind of position and where we are versus, say, Sunderland, and we talked all about that. You can check that out down below at the end of the video. We'll start off today, though, because there's a bit of stuff to get into. And we'll start off with an update on Ethan Ampadu's injury. He's out of action currently, and he was expected to be out of action until the new year. But there was some hope that Leeds could get Ethan Ampadu back in November if all things were going well. Speaking on MOT News in his own article, injury specialist Dr. Raj Balbrar claims that Ethan Ampadu's timeline means he's more likely to come back to Leeds into the new year rather than before the new year. Brar, who is a specialist in physical therapy and sports science, said the following: "He's been ruled out with a significant knee injury, and that's been keeping him out. The manager hopes for a December return. If the timeline holds, I would expect him to start individual training at the start of December and then gradually work to first team training based on their response." The timing of that, getting up to match speed as well and match sharpness, means you're probably looking at a January, early February return to the starting lineups for Ethan Ampadu should everything go according to plan. But any hope of getting him back before then looks pretty difficult with, as has been said, a significant knee injury here. But Leeds have options there at the moment. They brought in Joshua Gilavogi, they've got out Tanaka and Joe Rotwell, who for me have been doing fine in the middle of the park right now. It's not our issue right now. Leeds' issue is in front of goal. It's not necessarily the centre of the park, and that's also not a dig at the strikers. It's just Leeds in general creating good chances and taking them needs to be looked at. But Daniel Farke has options and he'd be okay for a little bit going forward. Moving on to a player that's been linked as we start to head towards January. Certain players and positions are starting to be linked. Ryan Kent has already been linked, but we're not going to get into it because anyone with any knowledge of what's going on with Ryan Kent knows it's an easy link and there's nothing in it. So, but there is one player that Leeds are keeping an eye on, and this is an interesting one. Leeds appear to have a permanent eye on Hammarby after being linked with centre-backs this year and last year at the club. But this time round, it appears to be a young winger that Leeds are monitoring. According to the Boot Room, they claim that Leeds United and Sheffield United are both monitoring young Hammarby winger Azumana Traore. The 18-year-old winger is primarily a left-sided player and is having a really strong season in Sweden this year. Already in the 2024 season, he's clocked up 9 goals and 4 assists in 21 appearances. So 13 goal involvements in 21 games for an 18-year-old is very, very impressive at any level. Leeds United and Sheffield United are both apparently have sent scouts over last weekend to watch the player play, but there also, of course, there is Premier League interest in the player as well, with Spurs, Aston Villa and Newcastle keeping an eye on him as well. And further north in Scotland, Celtic have also said to have sent scouts to keep an eye on the player. There's an interesting pathway for the player, decides, I suppose, in what direction he wants to go at 18 years of age. You'd imagine right now Leeds on 21s needs a little bit of reinforcement with Keane Coleman, Luca Thomas and Joe Richards heading out off on loan. It already kind of was pretty light last year after a lot of releases and under 18s coming up, so that needs a bit of love in there, and he could be a player that could go straight into that side while he adjusts to life in England and push towards the first team. If he wants that pathway, there could be a more direct route as well, and also if he gets a nice chunk of change, he might want to go straight to the Premier League and sit there, so you'd never know. But it's an interesting one. He is an exciting young player. Leeds apparently have had scouts over looking at him, but we'll keep an eye on that one and get you more information as we get closer to January and see what happens with him. And then some clarity on the Rasmus Kristensen exit. Yesterday and last week we had some stories about what was going on with Rasmus Kristensen, and in the German press they've even gone as far as to say that Frankfurt are keen to activate the buying option in the loan deal that he's got right now at the club. But Frankfurt sporting director Timo Hardung did last week put cold water on that, saying that the reports were not true about activating the contract. But now he has spoken to Tips Bladet and he's given some clarity on the situation. Speaking with Tips Bladet, Timo Harding said the following: "It's definitely an option for us. We greatly appreciate him and his qualities as a football player. When you think about the squad next season, we look at whether we want him permanently. Right now, he's on loan with us until June 2025, so we have him secured until then. He is a very important player for us." Harding went on to state that the final decision on making the move permanent has not yet been made, but there are conversations around it, and he said it's not been decided yet and we'll have to talk to him and whether it could be the right thing for him. We also have to talk to Leeds to see if it's possible that we can sign him permanently. You can, no problem. Off you go. Get it done. See you later, Rasmus. Yeah, it's not going to be a deal that will be hard for Leeds to turn down. If Leeds can recoup anything close to the 10 million, just rumoured to be a £12 million, €12 million option in the contract. It seems a bit high. You'd imagine that'd be renegotiated down a little bit if you look at the Mark Roca, Diego Llorente situations in the summer. So, but there could be a possibility of Leeds getting rid of the player and getting some money in before January kicks in and helping Leeds get some players in before the end of the season. And then finally today, moving on to the big story, and that's Leeds United and Adidas' partnership. This morning, Leeds United and Adidas have announced an extension to the original partnership. We talked a couple of weeks ago about Adidas considering moving Leeds into their Elite Plus brackets. That hasn't been mentioned in this, but we did say at the time it would be interesting to see if Leeds continue with their partnership with Adidas or shop around for a different brand for higher amounts of money. But in an official statement this morning, Adidas and Leeds said the following: Leeds United are delighted to announce that we have extended our partnership with Adidas. Having previously partnered ahead of the 2020-2021 season, the club is proud that Adidas will continue as our official kit partner, producing both playing and training kits for all Leeds United sides. The extension comes after Leeds had a record-breaking summer with the away kit, sold 15,000 shirts in its opening day, becoming the highest-selling Leeds United shirt in history. On the back of that, this seems to have rekindled the partnership, or at least shown Adidas that there's a lot of money in Leeds United. But looking at the range that Leeds had and the amount of country Leeds service, it would make sense for Adidas to double down on this one. In the statement, there's more in. You can check it out on leedsunited.com. But in the statement, Leeds talk about the partnership and what it can offer in the community as well as other things. The VP of Adidas, Christopher Walsh, also talks about how proud that they are, talks about the histories between both brands and how they can work together. Graham Smith in the Yorkshire Evening Post has also then confirmed today that this is a multi-year deal between Adidas and Leeds United. The initial deal signed between both of them lasted 4 years. You would imagine that this has probably a similar look to it, whether there's a clause in there if Leeds don't get promoted to the Premier League next season that Adidas can back away or what happens there. But it would appear the fact that they're announcing it now means Adidas are back on board and will continue with Leeds United. And it's been hit and miss with Adidas. There's been some really good hits. The last two home kits, I think they've absolutely nailed. The Peacock kit from last year, I know Asset FC designed that, but beautiful kit. Definitely one of my favourites despite the results in it. And then this season's the away kit, the yellow one's lovely. You've got the Red Bully Electric Blue away kit, which it's a third strip, fine, but the yellow one's is lovely as well. So we hope to lean more into that. They've had some duds in the Premier League as well. That navy yellow one that we got relegated in, which to me just wasn't a Leeds United shirt, and some pretty generic looking blue ones when we were there as well without putting any yellow into it. So let's hope that the partnership gets more bespoke kits for Leeds moving forward and can lean into Leeds history a little bit more to produce some of the good kits they have done. But as I said, hit and miss. There's been some big ones and there's been some misses as well. But from a distribution point of view and a range perspective, this year is pretty light. You'd like to see some more options there training wise as well. There's only one training t-shirt. You'd like to see more there. So we'll see what happens next year. Hopefully Leeds are in the Premier League, and by that stage it's a bigger deal and there's a bigger group of people for Adidas to sell merch to as well. Anyway, folks, that'll be it for me today. You can check out the match review from last night down below. If you want, yesterday's news videos available as well. I will be back tomorrow for more Leeds United news as well as a podcast tomorrow evening. We look ahead then on Thursday to the preview ahead of the game at the weekend. Folks, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for supporting the channel and watching, and I will talk to you soon. See you then. Bye.